Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Today is Saturday, September the 22nd, 2018. It's around 9:30 a.m. My name is Robert T. Green. I'm the CEO of Pre-Post Game, also known as a Players Rep here to educate, empower, protect the athlete's best interest. I'm doing this Facebook Live to address a few things. Maryland and not so thoughtful gestures. NFL Hall of Famers threatening a boycott, and Colin Kaepernick may be signed or offered to sign again to the NFL sometime next week, and why that may be the case. So let's go backwards to the beginning. For those of you guys that don't know, Mr. Jordan McNair, former University of Maryland football player, died tragically at the age of 19 some time ago. During that time, up to this point, their coach, DJ Durkin, is on administrative leave. And as of yesterday, independent findings found that University of Maryland was responsible for the death of this young man. Upon that finding, now another investigation is going to be taken and continue on whether DJ Durkin should remain the coach of the University of Maryland based off of, if you will, in business, conduct detrimental to the student athletes, a culture of bullying, harassment, and all these things that when people talk about recruiting, and really when they send their kids off to work with or be around people for dreams that they hope to attain, a lot of times using their social or economic standing to provide a false sense of care without really asking and understanding who these people are with. What I say all the time, the X's and O's, for the most part, are the same everywhere. When you basically turn your child or your kid or your young adult over to a program or a coach, and the only qualifications of being around that kid is X's and O's, you are setting yourself and that kid up for failure. When you have a program institution known as the NCAA, founded and began in 1906, and 80% of their highly generated revenue through sports such as football and basketball through the African American community, yet there's not any language inside of those documents that they're asking you to sign after those 3 years, 6 months, 7 days, whatever time they're recruiting you. When they put you in that room in front of a piece of paper and ask you to sign, not understanding nothing in that actual document is in your best interest, other than what you here call the free education. Mind you, none of the parents or the athletes actually reached out to any former athlete that may have went to that university, played with or underneath that actual coach, and asked them how did their free education work out for them going to that school. Something as simple as that in corporate America. And unfortunately, because we continue to be oblivious to those things, a couple pair of gloves, a couple things that look, shiny toys or an advertisement or a graphic, this young man, Jordan McNair, is no longer with us. And since he's no longer with us, Maryland, in their so-called thoughtful ways of doing things, and let me first tell you, when a coach at university said, our kids wanted to do this for Jordan, no, they did not. That's the biggest lie that you could possibly tell. Kids don't all of a sudden say, hey, let's go out there with 10 people because Jordan's not here to show how much we care about Jordan. They did not say, hey, let's basically retire Jordan's jersey for 3 years that he would have been left here to remain to play and then give it to somebody after the fact. They did not say, hey, let's get some helmet stickers that have been sitting in this athletic department training room for 20 years, number 79, and pull them off and put them on the back of our helmet. That's really supporting Jordan. That's really respecting Jordan. No, we will respect Jordan and his parents if, when, and soon, hopefully, you fire DJ Durkin. DJ Durkin should not be coaching with any other athlete ever. Parents need to send a message that these are your children, your kids, your responsibility. When they always talk about free education in school, that means it's a school. If you don't feel like a kid is doing his job in that scholarship, take it from him. Give it to somebody else. But when a kid says he's hurt and you force him to continue to practice, When a kid said that he didn't come here to play fullback or wide receiver, and you tell him he's going to do something else, so now he quits and gives up his scholarship because you didn't tell him that during the recruiting process? Because a kid comes there in belief that you care about his best interest as a tight end, but when you didn't recognize there's already 12 tight ends on the actual roster. If the kid wants to leave, not play for you, it is well within his rights and his parents' rights. Too many coaches for too long have sat here and looked at these kids as commodities. Whether you take them in one day, what their value that they have, and then you throw them away when you no longer want to deal with them. And again, that's on us, parents, because once again, when it comes to kids, at the end of the day, they are going to look to their peers. They want to feel that spotlight. They want to feel like they're wanted and proud. They want to feel like they're giving you an opportunity to better your life. But yet at the end of the day, you have no idea how this stuff actually works. You can't have free education to go somewhere before even understanding how this thing actually works. An organization or institution that makes billions of dollars a year, you have to understand there's some serious business components in that. But yet, we continue to ignore those things. So, again, fire DJ Dirk in Maryland. That will be thoughtful. Do not allow that man to go around any other kid, including, and also Rick Story, who was a trainer, who said when this young man was having problems with the heat stroke, to drag his ass off the field, end quote, that if you, someone as a coach, had your child, daughter, male, if you had a child at Ohio State or Michigan State, daughter Olympic team, if you had an athlete at Penn State and you was getting sexually assaulted and getting abused and things like that, you will want someone, you wouldn't want someone to say, drag their ass off the field, drag their ass out of the gym, whatever it may be. These are kids. And we're turning these kids over, these impressionable, happy, prideful, want to be successful kids over the people who care less about their well-being, only for the fact of what they can do for them with their bodies. And sometimes they take it way too far. So I have no remorse, no sympathy by saying fire DJ Durkin, make him find a new profession, fire Rick Story, and again, any kid that any time or any job that DJ Durkin gets again, me as a player's rep, I'm going to go about my business to make sure if a family is utilizing our service, they understand what they're setting their son up for or setting their kids up for. Because their kids don't understand. Because they will come in your living room, they will smile in your face, and they will tell you everything that you want to hear, but nothing that you need to know. That's not their fault, that's ours. As a former high school, collegiate, and pro athlete, it was my fault. That's why I'm here now. So that's my thoughts on Maryland. Next, Eric Dickerson and a group of NFL Hall of Famers are threatening to boycott the Hall of Fame next year if the NFL doesn't pay them a salary and benefits based off of what they feel like they didn't get during their time while they played. Now, the NFL, just from TV alone, generated $14 billion last year. And for many people who don't understand generational wealth and how society actually works, when you talk about how much money NFL is making and how they made it and who they necessarily made it off of. In corporate America, most things are created by product. So whether you have a union, if you have a product, it's not about who's actually selling the actual material of the product, it's about the product. So you can have a union, but yet the people that's in the union don't necessarily get treated properly because at the end of the day, they can replace you for someone that has a need for that job, but the product still remains. In sports, that does not work because the reality is without the actual athletes, without the ones that you can't pick up and grow on trees, without the ones you can't just go find any way to do the same thing as the next one, you can't grow and create and pour water on a plant and turn into a 6'5", 280-pound man. You can't do it. So for with that being said, the actual union has not done right by those guys who's helped the NFL to become what it is today. So for that NFL Hall of Fame ceremony where these guys get a bust and a jacket to come out there in Cleveland and sit out there for a day, when they also actually generate more revenue during that time, after watching what Terrell Owens did when he basically boycotted, if you will, and did his own NFL Hall of Fame ceremony, with those same NFL Hall of Famers upset at T.O. realized, like, hey, even in our old days, even if our bodies are beaten down, even though our medical bills aren't paid, the NFL is still making money off of us every single year. And until this point, no one has said anything. So when T.O. did it, the same people that criticized T.O. now saying the NFL generates so much money that as a Hall of Famer, because you played all those videos and those films of me knocking somebody's head off or me losing my finger, but now you make all these rules that's fine the same players, take the money back from the players that you used to make money off me in the first place. Those players are saying, hey, Roger Goodell, you're making $50 million a year and have full medical coverage for your family, and you never played a down of football. Sports is not a game. Sports is all business. They're trying to explain and try to change, and it starts as early as the AAU and the showcase level, going through high school. These plastic trophies. When you're a parent, you take your kid out there, and again, your kid is a great, phenomenal athlete, and all of a sudden you see the full house and the gym is packed, and before your son gets on the court or on the field, you got to sign this waiver saying that if he gets injured, you're responsible for his insurance. But mind you, before you got to sign that waiver, you had to pay $10 at the door. You had to pay another $5 for the program to see your son's name. Sports is not a game. Sports is all business. So then when you turn around and then now you say you can have the glory, we'll put you on TV. We'll let you we'll say your name. And when we say your name, we're going to make sure you put your name on a jersey that you won't get a percentage off of. So we'll help hype you up, build you up to be what it is. We'll let you come here and sign a couple autographs for pennies on the dollar. We'll put out a nice spread of food and put you in a jacket with the NFL name on it. If you don't understand corporate America, as you say, if you look outside right now, no matter where you go, you can't go down a block in a suburban or an industrial area without seeing a name of something or logo of something. That's what sells. That's what makes money. But like I said, at the end of the day, those human beings who are dying slowly, and some faster than others, have figured out like, hey, not only do we come here every year and our bust is in that actual room, but if you ask the college players right now that is coming up in the next NFL draft, how many NFL Hall of Famers they know, they could probably count them on one hand. So when you as an athlete start off in this business thinking, I want to be in a Hall of Fame, don't understand what comes with being in a Hall of Fame, right there you're setting yourself up for failure. The true Hall of Famers are the guys that basically came through a league or a sport, any business for that matter, was able to get what they needed to get and then move forward, so they don't end up putting themselves in the same situation as the people before them. If I'm a cornerback, if I'm a DB, if I'm a defensive end, I need to know who was before me in this time and how they operate in their business and where they're at now. I don't need somebody who made money off of them and then literally they right back to where they started coming to tell me what they did for that guy. I need to hear from the horse's mouth. Utilize your resources. Technology has allowed us these days to really get the real research that we need. Think about this in sports. We talk about how these things are all set up and why the NFL Hall of Famers are asking for an actual salary now. Because just like the agent process, what job did you know that literally if you're working for me, that I'm gonna allow you to tell me what I'm gonna pay you? Again, you working for me. I'm the boss. But please tell me, employee, what am I gonna pay you? And not only that, let you work. Let you work for me for 6 months to only find out what you told me may or may not be true. What other corporation, what other Fortune 100, 500 company does that? Point them out. You can't. But again, sports is not a game. Sports is all business. So many athletes and families get caught up in saying or wanting to be in the spotlight, want to be around. It's no different than like the NCAA, the NLI, the National Letter of Intent. ESPN puts you guys on TV for about 20 minutes and give you 3 hats and let you pick one. And you'll say something such as, for the next 3 to 4 years, I'm taking my talents too. You have no idea what's going on at university that you're going to, but in 3 to 4 years, you're taking your talents to. You have no idea that National Letter of Intent, also known as NLI, there's nothing in that document that's beneficial to you. That's why it's a voluntary document. But once ESPN said they're going to put you on TV, you forget all about what you're actually signing up for. So when it comes to the NFL Hall of Famers wanting a salary, I don't necessarily agree with the fact that they feel like they're the only ones to get a salary, because guys that have a lot of issues, that played in the NFL for a short amount of time, have significant injuries. We know that the NFL and the Players Union have not and will not do anything particularly to help them, because they don't have a big enough name to push that boat. But if the NFL Hall of Famers decided to boycott the Hall of Fame, one thing we do know, if the NFL Hall of Famers don't show up, there is no Hall of Fame. Trust the facts, not the process. So in that case, I support that cause. I don't necessarily know about $300,000 a year in a salary, but I do agree with full medical coverage and full medical care. If your commissioner who never played football a day in his life can make $50 million a year for something he never did, then why can't the NFL players, Hall of Famers who did do something, benefit from it? They're still selling those videos. They're still putting them on ESPN. They're still saying their name because players signed up to give their likeness image in the NFL to do with it what they please. It's like the NFL, the NCAA players sign intellectual property papers to give up the rights for likeness and an image. They don't have to, but they don't understand. So again, glory for your brains and your body to turn billionaires into trillionaires is not an equal trade. So again, invest in yourself, not the industry. The last thing, but not least, certainly, there's a rumor out there that Colin Kaepernick, who is, for those who don't know, the former quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, who opted out of his deal and started the kneeling protest to protest social injustice and police brutality, not against the flag. For those who don't know, Colin Kaepernick sat down in a Green Beret named Nate, I forget his last name, Beret, I believe, came and asked Colin to take a knee, again, military, to be more respectful, which he did. Long story short, Colin Kaepernick and currently Eric Reed have a lawsuit against the NFL stating that owners colluded to keep them out the National Football League. Colin Kaepernick, who some may say is no longer a starting quarterback, is definitely one of the top 92 players in the country. When I say 92, because usually, I should say 93, there's 32 teams in the NFL, and at the end of the day, he's better than there. He's not the worst starter, and he wouldn't be, by any means, anybody's worst backup number 2. As of a week and a half ago, Colin Kaepernick collusion case moved forward, where there's a situation where owners from the NFL, the commissioner, as well as the president of the United States may be deposed legally to see if they spoke about keeping this person out of a private business industry, but at the same time, that's against their collective bargaining agreement, especially when taking a knee for the flag was not a policy in place at that time. With that lawsuit, one of the reasons why I believe Colin Kaepernick may be getting a job next week is 2 reasons. It's like I said, sports is not a game, sports is all business. The NFL would rather put Colin Kaepernick, just like they'd rather have Colin Kaepernick through the Nike ad to go back and help bolster their uniforms, than have to pay Colin Kaepernick a lawsuit, have all of their books and all of their operations and all the things they may have done in the past come into scrutiny, versus giving Colin Kaepernick the league minimum possibly for a quarterback, or paying him something up to maybe $1 million for that year. If Colin Kaepernick was signed in the National Football League roster, then his actual collusion case lawsuit would have to go away. If they offered Colin Kaepernick an actual job and he refused, then by default, Colin Kaepernick has just blew up his own court case in front of his own face. So, again, putting that out there, and the 2 teams that were actually rumored to draft him is the Raiders in Oakland with the head coach is John Gruden, and the New England Patriots with Bill Belichick. That is not by accident, because in particular, those 2 organizations, if not the organization, those 2 coaches in particular, are people that literally that will say that, okay, we signed Kaepernick and he didn't work out, so we cut him. So when Bill Belichick does that, they'll say, well, look who else he's cut. He's cut Randy Moss. He cut a whole lot of guys. Again, the narrative is being written right before your eyes, and you won't even see it coming. John Gruden, who basically has been notoriously released players that he don't feel like fits his scheme or system, as he just let go the best defensive player in the NFL named Khalil Mack to go to Chicago. If Colin Kaepernick signs with the Raiders, and then they put in some type of playbook that John Gruden has an extensive, playbook, which is difficult in a lot of cases. That'll be another reason. Well, we signed Colin Kaepernick. He didn't learn the playbook. So now his collusion case is dead. He can be cut. NFL can go on with business as usual. So that's the choices right there. If he's offered a contract, you take it. Take a chance on being cut. If you don't take it, you lose your lawsuit. Again, my name is Robert T. Green. I'm the CEO of Pre-Post Game Sports Business Management Advisory Firm. Also do transition succession planning. Invest in yourself, not the industry. It's okay not to know what you don't know, but it's naive and neglectful to actually put yourself in a situation that those before you only end up in the same result. For more information, check us out at prepostgame.com. You can follow me here at The Players Rep. Check me out. Follow me at The Players Rep 1 on Twitter, The Players Rep 1 on Instagram. Good luck to all the kids and the guys, and I'm talking to young men and women all over in college sports, NCAA, playing for their free education. Make sure you get it. Good luck to the men tomorrow in the NFL. Health, wealth, success, and safety for all of you. Get home to your family safe. Look forward to talking to you guys again soon. God bless.